A pair of twins return back home after doing honest business in Chicago to open a juke joint, but their opening night is interrupted by some mysterious strangers who hold nothing but foul intentions for those within. Film fans YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your movie apprentice, and today I am looking at Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, as voted by yourselves on the community poll, starring Michael B. Jordan, Hailee Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell, and Miles Caton. Sinners is a film that is quite frankly one of the most fresh, original clashing of genres that we have seen in quite some time. Ryan Coogler has given us a odyssey of musical expression, taking us through a journey that celebrates the history of music, past and present, taking us through this extended journey while extending a sprinkle of supernatural elements to spice up the pot. Sinners is a film that is definitely worth seeing, but I will say it is very old-fashioned as well, because Sinners does not jump straight into the supernatural elements, doesn't jump straight into the action. It takes its time to build up characters and build up the world. It takes a long time for that first domino to fall, but in doing so, it ensures we know about each and every character, both major and minor. We know their relationships. We know the bond between each individual, and we are teased with the overall threat as we get to the later half of the opening stages. So those of you that wanted to jump straight into the action will find yourself disappointed, because Ryan Coogler makes sure that we know who every key figure is in this movie and fleshes them out in a way that makes us endear ourselves to them, to the point we don't want to see any of them bite the big one. We have seen what Ryan Coogler has done with known licenses. He has done fantastic work with the Creed franchise. He's done fantastically with Black Panther, which is part of the Marvel franchise. So this for me has been the first real big budget movie that is completely original from Coogler, and he absolutely nails it, because I can describe Sinners as nothing short of hypnotic. Because the star of the show, I could say Michael B. Jordan, I could say Hailee Steinfeld, I could say Miles Caton, I could say Delroy Lindo, I could say a number of cast members in this, but the real star of this show, it is not the cast, it is not even the direction, it is straight up the music and the score. We get a new score from Ludwig Göransson, in his, I believe it's his first one since Oppenheimer's haunting score that we got the other year. And this score is phenomenal, and the diegetic music that filters within that realm gives us some of the most outstanding set pieces that I have seen in a very long time. There is a scene that I'm sure you've heard it mentioned before. I'm sure you've seen people talk about it. The barn burning scene, for me, is a trip of a scene. It is a hypnotic scene. It is a scene that takes you out of body. It is a scene that is everything you want from a movie. It tells so much for its visual storytelling, its creative cinematography, its impassioned performances within it. It is a phenomenal scene. And this happens before that first domino falls. Like, before things even get going, we get an all-time one of the best scenes of the year, possibly a contender for the best scene of the year, and we've not even got to the supernatural element. Now, we're far enough into this review now, I can safely say it's vampires, and it is a fresh take on the vampires. Well, fresh to a certain extent, because vampire mythology has gone few and far between, and the established mythology in this about musicians that are so good they are able to connect with past and present music, but in doing so they also attract great evil in the world, is an element that is set up through an opening bit of dialogue. I see it come to fruition in this, the intoxication of the power of music. It works really well, because these eternal beings want music to last forever like them, and music is one of those things that does last forever. The amount of folk songs that are hundreds of years old that are still known to this day is down to the power of music, the power of lyrics, and this film celebrates that. It celebrates music from all cultures, from all backgrounds, and it all culminates together to form the American identity. It takes all the foreign elements that came together to colonize America, which became America as we know today, and really fleshes it out in that gorgeous barn-burning sequence. And when we get into the really nitty-gritty elements of it, when we get into that supernatural stuff, it is thoroughly entertaining, and I love the element of it. Jack O'Connell is a fantastic antagonist in this. He is so charismatic in this, just by turning into an undead creature of the night. All prejudices, all drama that comes with humanity goes away, and there's this almost universal utopia community that he is trying to build, but at the cost of never being able to see a sunlight again, at the cost of becoming greatly evil. Like, I love that subtle element of the movie. Every character that we know is pure and good. They immediately switch into that mindset, as do these horrible individuals. They switch to that mindset. They coexist very well because they're all under one undead banner. It's not an outright horror in which they're trying to break the door down consistently. It is down to a psychological warfare, a manipulation tactic, and seeing that play out is very enthralling. This film takes its time in everything it does, and I've taken long enough. I'm going to talk about the performances. Michael B. Jordan's duo performance in this is fantastic. Both Smoke and Stack are solid characters. I would say I probably prefer Stack over Smoke slightly, but it's a very narrow margin. And all the support cast in this are great as well. Hailee Steinfeld is obviously arguably the second biggest character in this film. But shout out to Miles Caton, who plays this prodigy of music that is able to connect the past and the present into this solo moment. He does a phenomenal job in what I believe is his debut role. He is fantastic in this. Jack O'Connell, as I said, a great antagonistic performance. Lee Jun-lee delivers a great support performance, and what her emotional journey is in this is arguably the most traumatic of everyone in this, and she plays that role phenomenally well. And Wunmi Mosaku plays arguably the most pivotal supporting role in this, as this supernatural expert, this witch doctor that is the first one to clue in as to what's really going on. And Delroy Lindo is always fun to watch. Like, the cast in this is flawless. Now, Sinners could easily be the best film of the year, but there are a couple of things that hold it back slightly for me. For example, whilst I did appreciate that every character both had their pros and their cons, their positives and their flaws, there's no one that's out and out evil in this, and there's no one out and out good in this. Hell, I would argue even the main vampire is not out and out evil, because he absolutely hates things like bigotry and the like, and his way of solutionizing that is to make it up with a vampire so everyone gets on. Not the most concrete of ideas, but I did like his idea in this. I loved how every character had its pros and cons. Even the Smokestack twins, they are both, well, they're criminals. They went to Chicago, they got in with the criminal gangs in the 1930s during Prohibition, and they took advantage of it, and they've come home and they shoot people they used to know just to make sure everyone knows to not mess with them. I will say that when it comes to my flaws with this, that the pacing can be a bit jarring. Like, I love a nice long film. I absolutely adore 3-hour long films, but sometimes the early pacing does have this aspect of where we go into really get into the nitty-gritty of the action. It doesn't go on for too long, the opening section, but it is going long enough that I start to wonder how long is it going to take. The big flaw I have for myself is the final sort of sequence, the final act, gets rather confusing, especially when it comes to, I'm just going to say, there's a set number of characters that are shown to still be on the side of living by the end of this, and during this final sequence, I'm seeing people getting bit, but I'm seeing the exact same amount of people that we know to be living still fighting. So who's being bit? It's very confusing and very chaotic for my liking, and the fact that the film establishes early on who is going to make it and who likely isn't going to make it removes some minor attachment to characters, because we're almost conditioned to know that these characters are probably not going to make it, so we don't really get too attached to them. But regardless, outside of these very minor negatives on my part, I think Sinners is one of the most creatively original films ever, that takes 2 or 3 different movies worth of content, puts it in a blender, and it works phenomenally. It feels like they've been making a brand new cocktail that shouldn't work, but somehow the flavors of these different elements mix together to create something masterful. Coogler has knocked out of the park with his casting, the cinematography, the music being an absolute star of the show, the score. It all worked fantastically well to be one of the must-see movies of the year. Before I get into my grade, if you like seeing on the channel, click the like button and subscribe for more reviews that's coming all the time. Without further ado, let's grade this. So Sinners is Ryan Coogler showing us what he can do with a fresh original concept that masterfully executes a fantastic score, making music the main character and giving us great cinematography to boot, with characters that are all memorable in their own ways. Outside of some predictable elements and the chaotic final third, and an almost deceptive finish, I will say straight up, there is kind of a mid-credits scene that the film cuts to black, and then there's actual credits, like proper credits, and then it cuts to another scene that's the end of the movie after about a minute worth of credits. So that can be a big distraction from individuals that have seen the end of the movie. But other than that, I really enjoyed how this film played out. I loved how they blended the supernatural with the themes of prejudice and sticking out for one's own, the communion of different cultures and music across the generations. That all worked phenomenally well for me. And Sinners is just something that I feel like go watch it and make your own opinion of it. As you see online, everyone's praised it. Of course, there's going to be those that will go out the way to say this is the worst film ever because of all high praise the film's getting. But I promise you, if you're someone thirsty for an original film that is very creative and pushes boundaries, Sinners is the one for you this year. I'm going to say it for me. Sinners is a great cup of tea. So, Sinners, have you seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. And if you like seeing on the channel so far, click that like button and subscribe for more reviews that's coming all the time. But until next time, everybody, my name is Josh. I've been Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.